The other thing that I was going to quickly show you as well, a bit more on saving expressions. So what we can do is I'll start a new group, okay? Because that will, so you can create a new group at any time. So I could say things like book details or something, and there's nothing in that at the moment. Now this filter here tells me that I would actually be showing global variables in there if there were global variables. I haven't declared any yet, but if I set that to red, it will only show items within that group. Global variables are shown in green anyway. But actually, let's set the context again for an expression, just to show things a bit more clearly. And so I've selected an item, and I want to, for that, I want to select the author, dimensions, and language as a sequence. Okay, and I want to save that expression. So I just press save here, and so that saves that to that group now. So going back, I can click on books. I've got my original variables, and now I go to book details, and I've just got that one. So naturally, if I type in the dollar for a variable, I only get prompted for the variable that I've just saved. In fact, what I can do now is if I just hide the other two panes, so we can just look at the variables pane, you can see when you've extended the width of the variables pane, it shows you a few other columns. So you've got the name, you've got the group, and if I wanted to quickly change the group, I can change the name just by retyping in another name there. You've got the value of that. Sorry, that's the expression itself. That's the value there. This here shows you the number of items in the sequence that was returned. And importantly, this is the context, because when that expression was evaluated, I had set the context to be the item element. So what we can now do is, just show you how this returns the book details for first item. And so that comment is saved. And the other thing, if we go back to files, we can see if I select XPath, these are all the variables that you've saved so far in this session. So we can see that we've added a new group called book details, and that's the comment there. Let's just close SketchPath-Pro and start it again. And just to show that those details are preserved each time you restart SketchPath-Pro. But you can also save those in a special file that you choose. So I could say this is book queries. And now that gets saved as well, so I can explicitly recall that set of variables from file rather than having them just being auto-loaded. Because you can see here that I've got a number of other sets of variables that I've saved in previous sessions. So as I select each one of those, you'll see that there's a different set of variables. So just to show, for example, here I've selected that. So if I go in and have a look at the variables now, I've got a different set of groups available to me, and actually that shows quite well what you get with globals. Globals are shown up in green. So if I go to HTML vals you'll see that we still see the globals at the moment because we haven't filtered them. But just to filter them, you press that filter there, and now we see just those items within that group. Right, let's just have a look at what we've covered so far. So let's go back to this slide, and we can see, so we've covered the key XPath editing features. XPath debugging, we've talked about how you activate that with double clicking. We've shown how you include predicates and functions, and you've seen the interactive nature of debugging where you click on items and the results for those sub-expressions is shown automatically. Multiple file testing, we've covered that. You saw how I selected an input folder and put in a file pattern for, in that case it was all the XML files. We've saved expressions, and just to show how they're re-evaluated, I can do that quickly. Right, and to do that I'll go back to SketchPath-Pro,